Ooh, there you go. Nice Stu here. Doing a bit of a video. This is probably more of a diary video than, sorry about the lighting there. More like a diary video, which I might upload to YouTube. And it's basically about the car which has been sat in the garage for 6 years now. It is a Nissan 300ZX. I've had one since I was about 21. So I've had one now for 17 years, but it's one of those ones, it's probably had more time off the road than actually on the road. I've not touched it for years. Now, a bit of a history is, I had one of these when I was 21. It was a UK spec. It was cheap because it was very rusty, and I'd spend a lot of time to keep it on the road. Me and my dad did all sorts to it. I remember at one point, I think I spent about, I think it was $4,000, where the pound is actually good against the dollar. It's about $4,000, might be $5,000, getting loads of stuff, performance stuff for the car. And I think, I'm not actually on the rolling road, but I did a quarter-mile run at Santa Pod several years ago. This is when the car was actually working properly. And the Z Club of the UK, they're the club of the Nissan Z series. That's the 240Z, 260Z, 280, 300ZX, 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 Z32, and all those ones. Anyway, they happened to be there, and they were very impressed with the time I got. I think I got 12.9 seconds or 12.8 seconds. And they asked me how many brake horsepower do you think I'm doing. I said I think I'm doing about 400. And the guy said, no, with the time you've done, you're probably talking closer to 500. So it ended up being a bit of a beast. Me and my dad spent a lot of time keeping it on the road. Like it was very rusty. We even sprayed it from red to purple because I don't know, it's just one of those things. I thought I want to do something a bit wacky, so we actually changed it to purple. And it's a gorgeous purple. It's purple pearlescent pearl. Purple pearlescent pearl. I can't remember what it's called. It's a Nissan colour anyway. It's a pearlescent purple. Pearlescent purple pearl, I think it's called. It looks absolutely gorgeous, especially when the sun is hit. But it was done outside, you know what I mean? It was a quick job, so it was all right, to be honest. But it got to the point when the car was just so rusty. When I tried jacking it up on the jack points, the jack just went straight through the sill. And it was one of those ones, it was like, what do I do? So what we ended up doing is deciding we'll resell it. So I looked around and I found a guy who's actually selling a shell of a 300ZX for 200 quid. There's a few issues with this. Number one is it's an automatic. Mine was a manual, so there's a few things I've got to swap over. Obviously got to put a clutch pedal in there. We've got to put the clutch cylinder in and stuff like that. The slave cylinder and the master cylinder. I've got to do all that. There's probably other things I can't think of. The main thing at the moment that's stopping me now is it's got seat belts on the door, which I don't particularly like. See, when I got this shell, there was lots and lots of things missing from it, but I thought what I'll do is I shall take it from my car before I actually got it scrapped. I'll take all the good bits off it and I'll place it in here. Now, this one came, it didn't come at all. It didn't come with any door cards. So I was going to put my door cards on there, but these have actually got the seat belts on. Don't know if that's going to show up very well. It's got the seat belts on the door, which I'm not particularly fond of, but it also means the door card is different because it also anchors on the door. The UK model, it was actually anchored up. See if I can get it to show. It actually anchors over here, which is obviously on the B pillar. But the problem is, I think it's got the structural integrity about it, but it's not actually got the nut which that would go into. So what you need to do is make a little plate, thread it through there with a nut on it, and actually put it on. And I'm kind of stuck at that stage at the moment. It's a bit of a pain. I just need to find a place that can fabricate, like basically a piece of metal about that wide, probably about that long, with a hole in it, with a nut that fits in it. If I can get that on there, I can put my door cards on. But in the meantime, there's an awful lot of stuff to do. Can you see down there? That's the hole outside. It's kind of been open to the elements. No gearbox in there yet. Stuff like that. So what I thought I'd do was Again, this is probably for a personal diary to focus. This is more like probably a personal diary, as well as I might put it on YouTube as well. So let's go around the car and show you what needs to be done and what I've done so far. And what I've done so far isn't much. So first of all, there wasn't a dashboard in there. This is my dashboard for my one. Didn't have any dials. Did it have dials in it? It did have dials in it, but these are Japanese ones. As obviously says 180 kilometres. I'm going to put the UK ones in because I want it in miles an hour. I've still got my dash, so I'll just put that in. And apparently it is the same. Whatever dash you put in, it works. So if I put the UK one in it, it'll actually start working in miles an hour. Centre console, none of this was in, so I haven't got any of the air conditioning hoses that go along here. I've got them, but they're not plugged in. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that goes in here. Radio, air vents. There's like a slot in there. I hope I can find that actually, because it's a double din. It's been so long since I've done this. I actually don't know what goes where now. Obviously, steering wheel. That's my steering wheel. The rubber thing that goes on is there. That's one thing as well. The UK spec of these cars were basically the standard spec was the highest. So it was leather interior. It was tiger top, as you can see. It had cruise control, it had air conditioning, it had the sport suspension. Basically, yeah. So when you bought this in the UK, it was one spec and it's basically top of the range. It's got electric seats as well. This seat's electric, but there's no battery, so it's not moving, which is making it quite difficult. Now, when you got into Japan, you had all sorts of different things you could do. You could have just a two-seater instead of the 2+2. You could have a non-turbo, you could have a turbo. You could have cloth interior, which I think this car originally had. It didn't come on any of the seats because these are my seats. Cruise control's optional, and I don't think this car had it. Air conditioning was optional, and I think this car did have it. That makes it a bit easier. And there was other things as well. So I'm going to have to look at what needs to be done to get the cruise control working. I'll add that to the list. IDs, anyone? Stuff like this everywhere. I have no idea what this is. Down there. It's down there. Wires everywhere. Feck knows what it is. So I'm going to show you what I've done so far, which is not much. So, okay. So let's take a tour around the car. This one's black. My previous one was red and sprayed purple. Probably see evidence of that later on. Difference I've got in here, these are Nissan Skyline GTR 33 wheels. They are wide at the front, so wider in front and back. Bit of a difference is the Japanese 300ZX had 225, was it 225 50 16s front and back. The UK one had 245 45 16s at the back and 225s at the front. Because apparently at the time it was illegal to have different size tyres on a car. So this is the purple. Yeah, this is very old and not looking very nice now, but trust me, at the time it was very, very good. So my front wing on there, because it didn't have any front wings, these aren't the best. My front nose cone, I prefer the Nissan badge, the one with the Z. I've actually got the black one with the Z, but I prefer the Nissan hamburger sign. That goes in there. This is where the air intake goes. I still have all this stuff. I'm trying to press the volume button because it turns it off. Now I usually get like a Y piece and you get the air filter there. So basically the air filter filters into both sides of the engine, because basically this engine is almost split in two. It's a V6, so literally that side and that side work independently. Ironically, this side here actually feeds this side of the engine. It gets crossed over through the intercoolers. So one of the modifications I had is I actually had two hoses like that, and I had two separate air filters. Now, because I only had one airflow sensor within the ECU, I had to, you basically doubled how much it was reading. But the problem that it did actually cause, it didn't cause issues, it made the car less drivable, to be honest, because basically you're making it a lot more powerful than it's actually intended. I had to make a modification on this recirculating valve here. So basically I had to take an air feed drill it from the bottom there, and it had to go into the engine over here to make it more stable. I might take that mod off because I'm more interested now in making the car easier and smoother to drive. Then my headlights, this is a UK bumper, that number plate, that car doesn't exist anymore, so you can look at that. UK have front headlight washers, again top of the range on the UK one. Japanese ones, I think there's an option like stuff, but I've never seen on Japanese ones. On the lovely headlights, bit of a trivial thing. The Mitsubishi Diablo use exactly the same headlights as the Nissan 300ZX. The Mitsubishi Diablo, the Lamborghini Diablo, uses the same lights as the 300ZX. Even down to that the part number's the same. It is actually the exact same light. Talking of Mitsubishi, the only bit made by Mitsubishi on the car. Hey. So this is the engine. It's just sitting in there. It's not connected up or anything yet. Things I've done to this is it's got a smaller light and pulley. It makes it rev a bit better. It's also got these injectors here, which are purple. Don't know if you'll see that. Anyway, they are 555cc. That's 555 cc injectors. Basically, inject more fuel. What else modifications on this side? I don't think there are, to be honest. Everything's inside. It's bored out to be large. It's actually 3.1 litre. It's got 40 pistons forged. Conrods. The bearings are apparently NASCAR grade. They're apparently the ones used on NASCARs. Quite a lot of things to make it strong enough to actually take the extra power has been done in here. But once I'm done, I'm not touching the engine, just going to put it in. I don't know. The left bank on this has always smoked, so I don't know if I take the left head off and refurbish it, but that'll cost a lot of money. I just want to get it up and running first. So that is the engine, and to be honest, consider this car was actually released in 1988 in Japan. I don't think it is all bonnet, license or anything, because it's made of pure aluminium. I consider it was made in 1998. I actually think that is still is a lovely looking car. So I'm going to turn around now and you'll see all the crap in the garage. So this is where most of the car resides, along with other stuff. There you go. So there's the 5-speed manual gearbox. That needs to be put in. Probably one of the last things we put in. That is the door of my old car. I kept this because I wanted, well, because there's no door cards on that. And I also wanted to keep the, what do you call it, the seat belt at the top. So it's got my door cards on it, probably a bit messy and whatnot. So I don't know whether, I think it may just be easier. Hold on. I think it may just be easier to do a door swap and swap out all the gubbins. Another trivial thing, the headlights, sorry, the glass on a Japanese 300ZX are tinted bronze and European ones are tinted black. So that is another thing I'll have to think about, because this glass here, see if I can show you, that glass there, it's actually got, you can't see it very well here, it's got a bronze colour. Let's just show them reflective, you can see it a bit up there. It's actually got a bronze colour, and so is the front windscreen. So I'll have to look at what it will look like with that being bronze, that window being bronze, well, that potentially being like the darkened blue colour, and the back being bronze, and that being bronze. Don't know if it's going to make it look really, really obvious. We'll find out. Here, don't you fall down, though. That door is determined to tip over for some reason. Something's moved underneath it. Exhaust. Stainless steel Mongoose exhaust. Very nice note it makes. It's not, I like the sound of it. People went stupid and had stupid like 4-inch exhaust pipes, and it just sounded stupid. These are a lot of body panels, well, interior panels, which I need to go through and make sure, see which ones are the best. and put the best ones on. Spare headlights. Came with a couple of headlights, so found the best one. Here is my lovely flywheel. It's a bit rusty, so I'll have to get that skinned or something. You can actually buy these segments and get it replaced, so I might actually do that, get new segments. Was it RPS? I can't remember who made it. Was it RPS or something like that? Segmented flywheel, beautiful. That is the clutch plate. That's the second clutch plate I bought, because I actually bought one that was supposedly good up to 450 brake horsepower, and after doing some repairs on it, I took it for a little drive, and I was basically at some traffic lights, and I thought I'll give it a bit of welly, and it exploded the clutch. It basically ripped the clutch in half, so I had to up the clutch. I have lots of wheels. These are the standard Nissan 300ZX wheels. The car that it came with, I think, came with 2, and lots of spare pram wheels. I've got lots of the spare pram wheels and lots of these, so I'm going to have to look at which ones are good and which ones aren't. Over here is my catalytic converter. Yep. No, I decatted it, so go away. That was a terrible joke. So that is where I'm up to now. I have no idea what needs to be done first. Don't know where to start on the interior first. I think I'll set the interior first, won't I? Get the dashboard in, get all the wires in, get all the sensors up. Then I'll start on the engine. And then I'll start on things like the body. You can see like the front bumper doesn't fit properly. But I've got a lot to do. And I've not got much time to do it. Well, yeah, I've got a lot of time to do it. It's just been spending too long to do it. What? You want to say bye-bye? Daisy, do you want to say bye? Well, I think he said bye. Anyway, see you later.